Hello and welcome to Colombia, Tech's next big frontier, sponsored by Pro Colombia. I'm your host, Kenna Johnson from the Channel Company. Today, we're going to learn why Colombia is the most welcoming place on earth and dive into its booming tech industry. Joining me today is Ricardo Pedroza, U.S. Executive Director for Pro Colombia. Welcome, Ricardo.
Thank you, Kenna. I'm very happy to be here today.
So glad you could join us here today. Segment 1, why choose Colombia? Tell us a little bit about Pro Colombia and what you do.
Yes, Kenna, I would love to tell you a little bit about what ProColombia is. We are the government agency in charge of promoting foreign direct investment into the country, exports from Colombia, and to promote tourism to the country. So what we usually do is we work with partners around the world. We have presence in more than 20-something countries in the world. In the US, we have been present for more than 25 years. We have presence in Florida, Texas, California, Michigan, and you name it, New York, several places. And we just work with partners in order to make their job easier. We don't charge for our services, but depending on what you're doing, if you're in tourism, we help, for example, we work with the airlines in order to help with the connections, for example. If we work with foreign direct investors, we help them understand the country and the opportunities for investment that are in the country. And if we work with exporters, in this case, for example, with services, we partner with them in order to make sure that offer and demand come together in order for them to know each other and on that build a relationship. So it's something that we do every day. We have different ways of doing it in presence, virtually, matchmaking events through the website. So our job is to make the other people's job easier.
How has Colombia's economic landscape improved over the last decade?
Well, this is a very good question. Colombia has had in the past very good track record in terms of its economic development, the numbers. You will see Colombia's graphs and they go always high. But just taking into account what is happening today in the recovery, because obviously this is being a couple of really particular years, the recovery for Colombia is much better than the recovery of most of the countries in the region. Some organizations like the International Monetary Fund or JP Morgan or the World Bank, they said that Colombia will be growing like 7.5, 7.8%, but last numbers seems like that we're going to be close to 10% growth. So these are good news. And this has helped Colombia to recover and to gain part of what was lost in the last years.
How does Colombia's location offer great access to the global markets?
Well, we are privileged to be in the north side of South America. So we have access to ports, we have access to obviously the population that we have and the connectivity. We have like connectivity to more than close to 500 ports. We have today 26 airlines from 25 countries, more than 1,000 links. So the location and the way we are connected is really key for us, but not just physical connection. We have worked in the past in order to have FTA agreements. So we have the free trade agreements with different countries. We have close to 17 free trade agreements that we signed in the last years with access to 1.5 billion people around the world. And specifically in the US, next year, we're going to celebrate our 10th anniversary for our FTA.
What kind of tech services can you find in Colombia?
You can find different types of services in Colombia. And I think that it's a key asset what we're doing today in terms of what we can offer. We just say that we are the next big frontier, and I would say that's relying on the talent. We have very good talent in Colombia. We have very good engineers. And as I travel in the US, for example, I've been in Texas, I've been in California, I've been in Illinois, New York, Boston. There are hubs, technology hubs. They always are looking for people in Colombia for the different projects. And what they look for? They look for the talent on one side. They look for the creativity, the professionalism that they have, but something very important, the quality, because the way we develop is based on standards that are easy to interact with and to get the product or move in the project that you would like to move for.
How does this allow Colombia to be more competitive in the foreign markets?
Well, we have been doing several things in order to be more competitive. One of them is we're diversified. So we have people in different cities like Bogota, Medellin, Cali, and others. We are the main ones. The government has included technology into their reactivation process. So there are policies around it. So we benefit the companies that are investing there. We have a really strong ecosystem where companies partner among themselves in order to move the projects forward. And I would say the time zone is something important too. Now the world is shifting from west-south to north-south, so it's key to be in that play. And I would say we have partners, so it's also key the way the partners interact among themselves in order to have better solutions.
Segment 2, Colombia, the most welcoming place on earth. You recently introduced a new manifesto, Colombia, the most welcoming place on earth. How did you come to this conclusion?
Well, you know, it's something that we have been doing for a long time, trying to look for what we want to be recognized for. And then you have to go to your roots. And something that is consistent, but really consistent, is how warm we are, how we want them to feel at home, how we want them really to look for solutions for them, not just doing the job, but doing the job with the heart. And that's why we came up with the manifesto.
We know that Colombia is the most welcoming place on earth. How does that translate to providing support services?
Well, it's key. As I mentioned before, we're becoming the new tech frontier. And I think the way you go for the projects and the approach you do makes a difference. It's not just doing the homework, it's going beyond that. And that willing to support, to serve, to help makes a huge difference. So when you work with the Colombian engineers, it's not only from the engineer to the CEO, no matter whom you talk to, you will feel the same. You will feel the passion, and you feel the honest belief and decision to work on making everything goes well. So I think that's very important, because if you attach that to quality, diversification, possibilities, it's a powerful mix.
Segment 3, Colombia's software sector. During the past decade, Colombia has grown its IT software and services industry. How has that contributed to your growth?
Well, as a country, we have been working the last 10 years very hard in order to promote and position Colombia as a software and technology provider for different companies. And we are becoming this new tech frontier. And this has been possible because we have been becoming a world-class player. Just to give you a number, we are now the number 3 country after Mexico and Brazil as a software provider. And we work very hard with strict security practices. We have quality certifications, international standards. So we are doing things in order to make sure we are a key player. And now we're number 3 after Brazil and Mexico, as I said.
In 2022, Colombia will be celebrating 200 years of a bilateral commercial relationship with the US. How is the Colombian tech industry advancing its international expansion into the US market?
Yes, next year we're going to celebrate the 200 years of the bilateral relationship among the two countries. And in the past, we have been working very hard, and the relation has been around agricultural, textile, apparel business. But in the future, we're looking ways to be more in the value-added sectors. And that means services. We employ today close to 600,000 people in Colombia, and they provide services such as call centers, BPO, and KPO. And that means that we are going up in the value chain, and it has been growing in the last 10 years. So we expect the next 200 years to be a much different relationship with much more value added from our side.
What type of technology resources and industry solutions does the Colombia tech industry offer SMBs?
Well, that's a very important question, because sometimes the size of the services and companies that Colombia offer are a perfect match to SMBs. So if you have to serve them, you have to have certain size of people and equipments set up for that. But on the other side, you have to understand them. And if you are an SMB, for you, it's much better to serve an SMB if you're a peer for them. So I think that's a great advantage. And we have solutions in different sectors. And you name it, you can go from fintech to health services, to development. So you can move in different directions. But I think the key thing is the understanding of the business. Once you understand your partner, and if you're a partner on SMB, I think it's a powerful partnership.
What opportunities does this open for channel partners?
Well, I think the opportunities for channel partners are all channels are key because most of the sales are done through channels. So if you go to the US, sometimes you have to partner with one of them. Sometimes you are part of a bigger team. Sometimes you have to leverage in order to go to market. Even though some companies that are coming and establishing in the US to do business in the US, they rely on channels for the go-to market strategy. So it's part of the backbone of what we do, and without channels, it's not possible to move forward.
You're having a business matchmaking event in March. How does this help connect vendors and partners?
Well, the ProColombia Business Matching Forum is something that we do every year. This one is in March, as you mentioned, and it has been very successful. Just to give you a couple of numbers, last year that was virtual, it grew to 46% regarding to previous year. We had like 128 more international buyers than in traditional events. In the end, we have close to 900 buyers going to Colombia from 52 countries. So it's something that really energizes the market. And what we do really is matchmaking. So if you have a need and you have an offer, we put them together so they get to know each other. And after that, they continue talking and defining the best way to move forward. So we're very excited about that. It's going to happen in Medellin this year, in Cali, but the IT part will be in Medellin. And obviously, we invite you to deep a little bit down on that. And there's a website that we recommend you to go, which is mcrmacroruedasprocolombia.co/macrorueda90. And I think you're going to see on the screen the landing page. And then you can go and find out what's the best way for you to participate in the matchmaking event.
Where can we go to get more information?
Yes, you can call ProColombia's offices. You can email us and you can go to the website. These are the three places where you will find the best and the most information regarding it.
Ricardo, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for watching at home. For the Channel Company, I'm Kenna Johnson.